specific things. So thank you very much, all three of you, for being here. Interestingly, since Puneet was talking to Rishi, right, yesterday Puneet was talking about he was setting the tone for Tiger 2026. And the only panel which was quoted in that 10 minutes of, speech was ours. So, so this is, of course, an important panel which we are trying to do here, right? So again, thank you very much and really appreciate all of you carving out time. So we have been given 25 minutes. I will try to keep, uh, you know, uh, to end it around 22, 23 minutes, and probably I would like to keep the session open for any quick question and answers, right? So we have seen one very, very big change in Indian economy, right? So the consumption story of India is now no more dependent on the metro cities, right? जो असली भारत है वो कंजम्पशन स्टोरी को बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, राइट? एंड वी हैव सीन दिस एंड ऑल ऑफ यू ऑफ कोर्स विल हैव लॉट ऑफ इनपुट्स टू टॉक अबाउट कि एक्चुअल कंजम्पशन स्टोरी जो ग्रेड बी और ग्रेड सी सिटीज़ में डेवलप हो रही है, बन रही है, वो कैसे हो रहा है. So Saurabh, before talking in detail, Lahori Jeera is one of the most successful and talked about startups from this region. And so just to start with you, कैसे हुआ ये? मतलब I'm sure some kind of thought was there, but what was one thing which kind of kicked it कि let's try and do this?
Before I answer this question, I think it's important that I sort of appreciate the effort put in behind something this big, especially in Chandigarh, which was absolutely required. Am I too loud? It's just a lot of it. So I think Puneet, Vishal, everybody, the team, I think they've done a fabulous job. It was such an important thing. It's such a strong stepping stone towards building this ecosystem where we take entrepreneurship seriously and it's mainstream. यहाँ पे especially towards the north, I think Punjab, Haryana, there's a mindset where our fathers and our parents and our grandparents sort of consider कि या तो बच्चा सरकारी जॉब ले ले या प्राइवेट जॉब चली जाए, लग जाए. अगर कोई somebody is chosen entrepreneurship, they consider कि इसको कहीं और जॉब नहीं मिली होगी, इसके पढ़ाई में मार्क्स अच्छे नहीं आएंगे, that is why he's trying to be an entrepreneur. So in order to make entrepreneurship mainstream, it is important to do stuff like this. So I think kudos to everybody involved. I think it's a great, great job. A round of applause for all of you all. It's just amazing. Now to answer your question, and thank you so much for having me. I think, again, what you said, the most successful people and all that, I think it's very subjective. We're just lucky ones to be sitting here. There are a bunch of folks who've done really well from the region. And I just really hope and wish and pray that we have a very large bunch very soon that really becomes very successful in a period of time. To tell you how the journey started for me, so I think there are two questions. One is the consumer story that you sort of mentioned, and the other one is how Lahori Zeera sort of happened. I think from our lens, it was quite simple, quite honest, quite... So when I tell you, I think from that lens, it'll make a lot of logic to you all. Imagine everybody in this room would have, if not had or consumed, but at least noticed or observed some hawker on a roadside making a jeera masala soda bante wala, Everybody has that memory. So maybe we've not tasted it, some of us have tasted it, but it was an experience, right? So colas in India were being consumed because they were consistently available and they were just everywhere. But actually, no matter how much pizza you have, how much Italian or whatever cuisine you like to have, at the end of the day, after a few days, you feel like you want to have something basic, dal, roti, sabji. So our wiring is such that we're wired to consume Indian ethnic flavors. And that is what we thought, people are consuming colas because it's available, it's hygienic, it's just available. They're not consuming the traditional flavors is because there's no hygiene, there's no consistency, it's not available. What is available is not consistent. So that is where we thought there's a clear gap that people would want to have a culturally rooted brand, just that there's none available. So that's where we wanted to build, that's the space we wanted to get into, and that's what we captured. We wanted to build an ethnic Indian flavored brand that actually focuses on the market, masses, and then is there for every Indian to consume, and to consume it with pride. So that was the thought process. That's where it started from.
I was telling Saurabh that Lahori Jeera मुझे मेरे father ने introduce किया था, and he told me a very classic example. He said that I think they are the brand where the elder people are catching up to it and they're passing it to the younger generation, right?
Yeah, it's just so unique. All consumer. So today in families, generally the youngest member of the family or the Gen Z would come and tell you कि यार ये launch हुआ, पापा आप ये try करो, दादा आप ये try करो. For us, it's just some weird reason. During our due diligence, when it was done by an investor, they told us that actually most families, the product is introduced by the eldest most member in the family because they really appreciate it. And they're like, तू ये पीता है, तू ये मत पी, तू ये पिया, this is far better. So it's just a unique. This
Great. So Rishi, now coming to you, you have entered into a niche market with niche, right? So so I'm sure, and you have traveled across globe, right, before studying all these, right? What exactly kind of pushed you to get into this? And so again, it's a very competitive market, right? We have a lot of brands famous globally. What exactly pushed you to create something from the city where you're doing it, Ambala, right? So, yeah.
So, I'm a gemologist as well, and that's how my journey started. And while I was studying in Australia, I used to wonder why there are no Indian brands available out here or anywhere else in the world. And of course, the reputation of us back in the day was not as great as it is right now, thanks to the current scenario that is happening globally. So when I came back, I was always looking for a product that I can sell to the globe and make a global product. And of course, when I started, jewelry was one product line, try to figure out what else can be done. And in the family, perfumes were also running. We were into farming of crops and extraction of the oils and stuff for perfumery. And looking at the kind of mindset that we Indians have is to make a product that is cheap. So while I was doing my gemology, we had an eye for perfection, looking at those inclusions in the diamonds or the stones. I started catching up onto those inclusions and those imperfections out there. And finally made my mind that, okay, perfume it is because sensitive to the smell. And that is one product which has not made its mark globally. And to your surprise, India is the only country where products like the raw materials from India are used by each and every perfume company in the world.
Wow.
We have so many raw materials that goes to everyone. So that's how Niche started. And currently we are selling in a few countries, making that global mark. People have a great acceptance for an Indian product. I remember like a couple of years back when we used to go internationally and pitch our product, they're like, India smells bad. That's the general perception. But yeah, with everything going on, keeping the product upmarket, it's changing.
Great. So thank you. So Abhishek, so both of them had a very clean slate, mostly, right? You come from a legacy, and I was very surprised to know that you told me that Sindhi was established in 1937? 1939, and Chandigarh store was over in 1976. Yeah. So it's like 50 years almost, right? Wow, that's a great. And that's a great legacy, right? Now I'm sure for you the challenges were different, right? And with Sindhi, I must tell you that as a co-founder of Gunsberg, right? I think Gunsberg has been supporting Tycon from 2018 onwards, right? And this is the first time that we have anybody from Gunsberg team on this stage. Not onto stage and to any kind of a platform which was in time. So thank you very much for supporting us consistently. So again, coming back to the question which I was asking to you. So legacy business, and then you came in, and of course legacy business has different kind of challenges, right? So what made you to get into it and then scale further?
Hi, thank you so much for having me over here, and it's a pleasure, sitting on this side while instead you're used to be seeing entrepreneurs and many other people from that side of the chairs. So yeah, it's a great journey, and it's been a fun one also, and with all the other challenges. So Sindhi Sweets is not something that basically I'm sure that most of the people would know what that name is for Chandigarh. I don't know about outside, but for Chandigarh, yes, I can humbly say that yeah, people know about it. The journey, humble beginnings, which I'm told started from 1939, which is pre-partition from the Sindh province, From there, after the partition, my grandfather came down to a place called Yamuna in Haryana, which is again it's a known town now. In 1976, my father came down to Chandigarh, trying to grow better, looking at the bigger city, and then just looking at, during that time it was just growing. So people were like, move to Ambala, move to Ludhiana, but then they settled down in Chandigarh. And I'm thankful, Chandigarh is Chandigarh. Yeah. We can't, just, people are growing businesses world over, but that's the place they want to be in. So yeah, it started in 1976 from the single store, which is in Sector 17, which I think most of the people must have frequented now. And yeah, we born and brought up in Chandigarh, got a much more cleaner and better environment to grow in and study. So after finishing off the studies, I sort of joined back into business, and it was attractive also while felt a little challenging. So you come back with a degree, whatever you've done here and there, and you did hotel management, you gave a law degree, you did everything, and then suddenly you come back into a mithai business, which was like just sort of, it seems very fancy, but trust me, I need to show you from the other side. So yeah, came back and just started working in the system, and then we saw that the owners are sitting on the cash counter, yeah, bills happening here and there. Coming back and, it didn't have the courage to tell my elders that, let's change this, let's change that. So for good 3.5 years, I sat down on the cash counter. 20, 50, 100, 500, all that stuff happening. While doing that, trying to understand how the business can grow, what can be done, because the previous generation, when you come into a family business, is damn tough. To make sure that you understand, and then you can't go and tell anyone who's been doing it from decades that, you're not doing it right. And then you're like, get out of it, right? So yeah, that's how it
risk of
happened.
being thrown away out of the family.
Yeah, so understood what the system is all about. It's their baby, they've made it grow, and then you coming in and trying to stake your claim over it. So yeah, 3.5 years of understanding, and then got your confidence in, and then that's how the expansion started happening. We were 3 stores that time. Another 2 months we're coming up with a 16th store. So,
nice. 16.
It's been a great journey with expansion and modernizing and doing things.
Great.
Keeping the ethos and the culture of what a family business should be while trying to understand the modern concepts and techniques and getting onto it. While we were doing that in 2018, my childhood friend Sarthak Agarwal, so he comes up to me that we need to do something different. Because he's also someone who's, got a very different knack of doing things. I think the other brand Theatre is the gifting partner
Theatre
here.
is,
So,
yes, correct, yeah.
So anyhow, he comes up and says that let's do some beverage. And I think it was the same time when Saurabh was also doing his thing. The only thing is that he got the concept, he wanted to catch the masses. We thought, let's do something niche. And then we were both in Singapore and we're just going through all these beverages and saying that, yaar, हमारा यहाँ पर क्या होता है कि नींबू पानी, लस्सी, Coke, Pepsi, and finish. There is nothing else to see or do. And he said that I have this great recipe of my mother, and we used to do fresh ginger juice. So let's try that. So good for around 5-6 months. We really gave a bad dose to our parents while trying to test all the fresh ginger juice and things like that with them. So finally we understood what the whole thing is, that picked up a small little machine, went to Coimbatore.
Oh, okay.
So our basic thing was that we have to make sure that we put fresh ginger juice. Second of all, there's this keeda that we have to do it in a glass bottle. So while we did that, picked up this machine, got things done. There was this one exhibition in Chandigarh called Laugh Area. Went there, 2 days, sold off 3,000 bottles. We thought, like, matlab kuch hai isme. That's how it went on, and then now the journey is ongoing and things are good, and that's what my journey is.
It's
as
a
of
great
now.
story. So
Yeah.
guys, we have to be a little cognizant of the time. I have a lot of things to ask, but I think now I have to cut it short. So anyway, I will just get to the point directly. India is a difficult market, we all know. Every 100 kilometers, everything changes, right? Now, just like any other market, we are more complicated, right? So Saurabh, question to you. Tier 2, 3 का consumer या metro का consumer, दोनों के behavior में कितना फर्क है?
I think substantial difference. And before I answer this, I think there was a point that you touched, and I think we all went to stories, but about the consumer story that's really evolving up. What we all don't realize is it's only logical for tier 2, tier 3 towns to have a larger consumer story than the tier 1 towns or metro cities. I'll tell you the reason why. the inefficiencies by default will exist in tier 2, tier 3 cities. Metro ke andar, there are so many logical people sitting, trying to make things work, and therefore there's a lot of development happening, and therefore there are a lot of efficiencies happening. So वहाँ पर consumer story is of a different kind, is at a different position. Whereas tier 2, tier 3, the entire inefficiencies are yet to be solved. So therefore the opportunity is there, and therefore the consumption is really started to happen over there now.
Okay.
सबसे पहले start metro cities में होती है, then tier 2, tier 3 towns it goes down to. But something as basic as a car. Do you know that only 8% of Indians own a car? Only 8%. 92% people still don't own a car. And the world average is about 60%.
Wow.
So every citizen of a country has about 60%. हमारे 30% भी होगा, then there's still a long way to grow.
Yeah.
So something like as basic as a chocolate. We only consume 30 grams per person per year chocolate. World average is about 5 kgs.
Wow.
मतलब air conditioner, anything, pick up any goddamn consumer thing, and there is so much headway to sort of grow, except the shampoos and soaps.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we've penetrated quite a bit. The essentials.
Essentials.
Besides the essentials, there's an entire story to be built out, played out. It's upon us whether we take this opportunity seriously and we build something that really the consumer wants. As far as the behavior is concerned, of course, as I said, these inefficiencies is what really builds the behaviors. Over there, a requirement of a consumer is going to be very different, whereas a requirement of a consumer in tier 2, tier 3 is extremely different. Over there, the consumer is influenced via other mediums. They are slightly more well-read. They have access to slightly more things that they can watch, see, and consume. They are influenced by other things, other channels. Tier 2, tier 3, it's a very different ball game where the influence is different. They are not so taken by brands per se. They are rather focused on value for money items, whereas tier 1 looks for more premiumized stuff to stand out in a certain fashion and way. So the thought process is different because the circumstances and the situation of these two consumers are very different. That being said, it's very much possible that you build a product that can solve for both the things, but it's extremely logical to exactly know who you are building a product or a service for and then focus on them. But both of them operate very differently.
Great. No, thank you. So Rishi, I have a question for you, right?
Your heart is racing.
You are a product guy.
I can see the time.
So that's okay. Don't worry. So you are a product guy, and you are a branding guy also, right? So कितना product और कितना branding? Product versus
I think,
branding, branding versus product.
Branding comes at a very later stage. It's about having the right product first and a product that you're satisfied with. You know, I keep hearing founders say, "Sasta banana hai," ya whatever, X, Y, Z. Do you really use your product? Do I really consume it every day? If not, I see a lot of jewelers wearing jewelry from Cartier or whatever, their wives. Why aren't you wearing your own stuff? If you're a clothing brand, perfume brand, be the product yourself. Have that compassion, have that, the taste, the willingness to consume your product every day. And then once you have the sales, once the ecosystem is built, once the consumers are ready, then the branding comes in. So if the sales are not there, no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you push, branding is not gonna happen. And what are you gonna do with the branding if there are no sales?
Great. So Abhishek, for you, Saurabh touched upon the consumer behavior part, right? So for you, taste, trust, and aspiration, right? This is what I see from tier 2 and tier 3 cities, right? So from your experience, what do you think is the most important parameter for a potential customer or client for you guys?
See, the most important thing is whatever product that you're doing, either you're eating, you're wearing, or you're consuming in any way, the quality has to be top notch. That should be your first priority for anything and everything that you're doing. And specifically when you're doing something which is close to food and beverage. Because I was just speaking to Wineway sitting here, that saying that, first of all, the consumer is very aware of whatever that they're getting. Second of all, you can do all the branding that you want, you can do all the things that you want. Till the time your taste is not good, the person is going to come once. And when you talk about tier 2 or tier 3 cities, till the time you're not working on repeats, you're never going to survive. So as simple as that, you do the branding, you bring the people in, you look at the taste. Once the quality and the taste is paramount, that is the time the person is going to come again. And with that and the service that you're providing, you just got to be honest with what you're doing and make sure that you provide the best quality. And I think number one is your taste and quality. Rest everything will follow through.
Yeah. So, yeah, I
think
know
to
you're
put
standing.
it- I think to put it correctly, it's the promise that you're trying to fulfill. As a product, when you put a product on a shelf or a service to offer, you're promising the consumer to solve something. If the first and the most paramount thing is to solve exactly what you're confirming or promising to do. If you're able to do that, and then the degree at which the degree of satisfaction that the consumer derives from of how you fulfill that promise is eventually what decides. And branding, I think what you're saying is essentially marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing is not just advertisement. Marketing starts right at the product level. How you communicate, how you package, or how whatever words you use to express or communicate to the consumer what you're promising to solve is also part of the whole marketing game. It starts right from the product, but advertisement is something that you sort of take on later to attract an audience or to announce yourself or to call for the audience. But the whole process starts together. They're not very different from each other.
True.
No, I want to add on another thing into that. So basically, since I consume a lot of products globally, I'm a vegan, I'm dairy allergic. So I go to supermarkets everywhere I go, and I pick up the products, fill my extra bag with all the goodies and tuck shops and whatever. I compare the products what they're selling in India and the chemicals or the artificial flavors, ingredients that people out here are using. Same companies, they will not use the products that are banned globally, but will use that product in India. And we're happily consuming it. So lack of awareness is there in the consumer, but not in the founders.
Correct. Correct.
So we have to really pull ourselves up and say that, okay, this is the scale or this is the product that we want to make and sell.
Right. No, thank you. So actually, we have been signed to go, but I will take just one-word questions to all of you, right? So one-word answers, guy, we don't have much time. So Saurav, the question for you is that one word for Indian consumer.
Is this journey just started?
Great. Abhishek, for you, scale or profitability? Scale or profitability, which is...
Scale or profitability? You scale, the profit will come.
Great. Rishi, one brand you admire?
Amawaj.
How could you say not? How could you not say that? You just said that. You got to wear what you say.
That's me.
I was thinking how Abhishek is going to handle that. So, Saurav, another question for you. One mistake founders should avoid.
Should
Avoid.
avoid. I think not dreaming big enough. Don't think small. Don't. So, I'll just take a slightly longer time. I know time's up, but you got to wait for the CM. So
Sure.
I'm still going to go take that opportunity.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem for Indians is our conditioning. We're always conditioned to think small, to be careful. Mama, आज भी aeroplane में जाते हुए बोलते हैं बेटा हाथ मत बाहर निकालना. We are just so we're conditioned to be risk averse, whereas Europeans or Americans are actually given the freedom to at the age of 16 they're thrown out and ki bhai live by yourself.
Yeah.
So they have a much higher risk appetite. Because of that we dream and we think small. It's about time Indians start to build very large brands and start to consume them and very good high quality brands. And not only do we consume it, but we make them for consumption for the globe.
Global.
It's high time.
I was about
we
to
just
ask
need to
you.
dream bigger, think bigger.
I was about
Thank
to
you
ask you,
so
Abhishek.
much.
Okay, she has already said thank you. Okay.
We are a little short of time. I would like to
No problem.
request
Thank
our
you very much, guys.
panelists,
Thank
thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much for being here with us. I would like to request you to please kindly come forward. I would like to request Mr. Ajay Tiwari, past President I Chandigarh, to please kindly come upon the stage and do the honors. And along with him, I would like to request Harit Mohan, the founder and CEO of Signicent, to please kindly come upon the stage and do the honors to our panelists and to our moderator. But ladies and gentlemen, I can see the hall is actually full. We require a big round of applause for all of them. Come on. And here we go with one more. I would like to request my lovely audience, please put your hands together once again. We need your big round of applause, audience. Come on, let's just continue doing it. And here we go with one more. Yes, for the moderator. Thank you so much for concluding it. Everyone, please put your hands together. Thank you so much, everyone. We'd like to request all the dignitaries to please be seated again on their respective seats right after this group picture. Everyone, please put your hands together. Thank you so much, everyone.